Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, is LeBron James playing at an all-time high in his 15th season? Plus, reaction to Kevin Love opening up about his panic attacks and mental health. And will the Michael Bennett trade make the Eagles favorites to repeat as Super Bowl champs? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Let's start with LeBron. He's put the team on his back last night with a 113-108 win in Denver. LeBron finished with 39 points and 10 assists and came up big in clutch time. He made 4 shots in the final 2 minutes to steal the win. After the game, LeBron gave himself some high praise. Let's take a listen.
LeBron, it's your 15th season. You haven't missed a game this year. You've been averaging a triple-double since February. How would you describe where your game's at right now?
Probably at an all-time high, just because of my body, my mind, the way I go out and approach the game. And then, just the grace of God giving me the ability to do this. So, I'm blessed, and I never take it for granted.
Shannon, do you agree that LeBron is playing at an all-time high?
I do believe he's playing at an all-time high. And considering that it is year 15 and that he has not missed a game, and what he's asked to do on a nightly basis, no, he's not that dominant two-way player anymore, because I believe could he play better defense? Absolutely. But what he's asked to do, carry the scoring load, assist the basketball, rebound the basketball, nobody has been asked to do more in year 15 than what LeBron James is doing currently. And when he said he believes he's playing at an all-time high, he's never had a 13-game stretch in which he's basically averaging 30, 10, and 10. 30, 10, and 10. And last night, down the last 2 minutes of the ball game, Skip, you say he doesn't play any defense. Can you tell the people at home that didn't stay up late at night who he was guarding in that ball game in the final 2 minutes? The best player under the age of 25 that has not made an all-star game.
Wait, are we talking about the same Nikola Jokic who got benched for the entire fourth quarter the night before in Dallas?
Yeah, I'm talking about that guy.
During a woeful loss to the Mavericks, he got benched for lack of effort, and you were trying to take credit for LeBron James guarding Jokic?
Yeah, the guy that had 36, 13, and 6 last night on 12 or 14.
Then LeBron must not have been guarding him very closely.
No. He took him the final 2 minutes. And what he do then?
Oh, I see. Well, the game had been decided by then.
Well, who decided it? Who decided?
Wait, tell me when it's my turn.
Not your turn.
I got
Why
all
you
kinds
keep
of stuff.
interrupting me, Skip? You try to make me...
Wait. Did he not ask me a question?
You try to make me lose my train of thought.
Ask me a question, and I'm going to answer it.
What happened was that lady was supposed to meet LeBron in Denver. But because of Nor'easter Quinn, she was unable to get a flight out, so she was delayed. But I heard she going to make L.A.
She lives in the Northeast?
Yeah!
Oh, I didn't know
Oh,
that.
Miss Triple Dub, yeah, she live in the Northeast.
Okay.
And she was unable to get the flight because Nor'east, she's just pummeling the East Coast right now.
She's about to move to L.A.
No, she ain't moving to L.A.
Lonzo's going to become Mr. Triple-Double here pretty
Don't do
soon.
that, Skip. Don't do that, Skip. But you look at LeBron, Skip. You said he scored the final 13. He scored the final 13 in the first half. He scored the final 9. And that, because Skip's telling me, LeBron ain't clutch. He lost his clutch guy. Oh, what are he going to do without Kyrie? What is LeBron James going to do without Kyrie? He just showed you, Skip. He was in his bag last night. Ooh, the 3 joy. He pulled up one from Castle Rock. I said, bro, that ain't far enough. He pulled up one from Gunnison. Then he went to Grand Junction, Pueblo. I mean, that one in the fourth quarter, Skip. How he do that? And then in the first...
Tell me when it's my turn.
It's not your turn just yet. Skip, let me have my moment.
Okay.
Why you won't let me
Because you
shine?
said, how did he do that? Is that a interrogative? Is that a question? Is that yes?
It's like I don't really need you to chime in. And then he went in his bag.
Joy, I don't really understand the rules of the game.
But Joy, he was in his bag last night. In the first quarter, he goes to the left, kisses it off the glass with his left hand. I'm like, Bron, you do realize you're right-handed, Bron. He's like, no, I ain't. Ooh, Skip Bayless. There's nothing. Look, I know what you're gonna do. It's not good enough that he shot 60% again from the floor. It's not a good enough again. Skip like take small.
Joy, have I spoken yet?
No, I'm talking to Joy right now. Right now, I'm talking to my fans. I'm talking to my 3 million fans that's watching at home.
3 million?
3 million, Skip Bayless.
I wish.
we gonna get there, Skip Bayless. Skip said, you know what? You know what happens with LeBron when he has this hot streak from 3?
Yep.
He normally starts shooting. He jacks them up.
Yep.
In his last 2 games, LeBron James is 10 of 15 from the three-point line.
Yep.
Now, I ain't no math major. I'm not Pythagoras. I'm not Benjamin Banneker, but I'm pretty good. I'm okay 10 or 15 pretty good, ain't it, Skip?
It's really good.
Oh, really good? Like, really, really good? Like, Lonzo Ball good?
It's not quite Lonzo Ball good. It's not quite that hot.
He was special. He was on full display. He was in his bag, 39, 8, and 10.
What is he, a career from three? Help me out. You know his
like
stats.
35%.
Try 34%.
Which is better than Kobe and Michael. So that means if they're
34%.
So if he's 34 and he's better than those guys, that means they have to be at somewhere around 33, 32. But that's not. We're not talking about them, Skip. I'm not gonna let you sidetrack me. Go ahead.
Go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I just sidetracked you completely.
You tried to sidetrack me,
You
get
didn't
me
get
off
to your conclusion.
My conclusion, he is all-time. He's playing at an all-time high, considering.
Okay.
Has he had a situation where he scored more points? Sure. But given what he's asked to do at this juncture of his career, I do believe LeBron is playing at an all-time high.
Yep. So, back to our bets, plural. The first bet occurred on Tuesday on this show when you just blurted out that you got the Cavs at the Nuggets on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And I said, really? I'll take some of that.
Or Wednesday night.
But
Monday. We made the bet Monday.
You sure it's Monday?
Yeah,
I thought
it
it was
was Monday.
Tuesday for... No, wasn't it
No, it was
Tuesday for
Tuesday.
Thursday? Tuesday for Thursday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, because Tuesday night I had not looked at the schedule. I did not know that all of a sudden my Denver Nuggets, they used to be your Denver Nuggets, I had no idea that they were about to play a game at Dallas against the woeful 20-42 Dallas Mavericks, and that they would all quit on their coach,
didn't
Mike
quit.
Malone. Yes, they did, and he just ripped and slashed them after the game. And once again, I reiterate, he took his best player out of the game for the entire fourth quarter, Nikola Jokic, who you just love as the best player under 25 years of age in the NBA. That's what you told me last week,
that
right?
has not made a All-Star game. That's
I
the
d-
criteria.
Okay, I got it.
Because Joel Embiid and
right,
Anthony Davis are both under the age of 25.
So I accepted that bet, and I got, well, let me just say this. The Jokic was on me because I had no idea that was coming. I got Rodney hoodwinked by your Cavaliers because this team was not only tired from the Dallas game, but it was dissension-racked going into last night, and it fell out of the playoffs last night. It will not make the playoffs. The Denver Nuggets will not make the playoffs, and this is the same team that destroyed your Cavs just a few days ago back in Cleveland. And this team immediately fell behind by 16 to the front-running LeBron Jameses. And it was shameful that the LeBron Jameses allowed this team to go on an 11-0 run at the end of the third quarter to even get back in the game. It was shameful.
Because we didn't want you to go to bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we knew you were going to go to bed if it was we was
So
up 13.
what happened once the believe it or not, the Denver Nuggets actually took the lead with 7:19 left. They went up 3. And then guess what happened, Joy? I'll talk to Joy like you do. Then Kyle Korver hit a 3 to tie the game. Then wait, it's my turn.
Okay.
Jeff Green hit the next 3 to put them up 3. And then guess what? George Hill, of all people, hit the next 3 to put them up 6. Did I just mention LeBron in any of those? No, LeBron didn't do it. 3-3-3.
Who passed the ball to him?
Wow,
Who- I-
interesting.
can-
I don't know. I don't.
You
even
do
care.
know,
I
Skip.
don't even care. So what happened was that after that, the Denver Nuggets were dead in the water. They hit the psychological and the physical wall. They said no moss while LeBron was in his bag. They were just in the bag, as in the body bag. They were done.
Zipped it up on 'em.
Yeah, and he zipped it up on him, basically front running all the way home
do that,
against a
Skip.
team that was dead on defense. They were playing no defense. The last 3 from Pueblo, was it the
Yeah,
Pueblo 3?
yeah.
I know Pueblo, Colorado. I once spent the night there on a vacation. But that was the bomb of the night. And go look at it again. The 2 Nuggets who it's a pick and roll situation deep, and it's like they're just watching. Okay, if you want to make that, you can have it. It's their shot.
But you told me
Their shot.
You told me that Popovich says that's the let LeBron have those.
It is.
Okay,
because
so they let him have it.
His history will tell you he's a 34% three-point shooter.
Yeah.
And to your credit, you doubled down on your bet yesterday, and I said, okay, I'll take that. You said 4. You said he'd make 4 or more.
Yeah.
And I said 3 or fewer. And
no
you were
way.
right. And the daggers weren't on Denver because Denver is already dead. The daggers were for me. And I am convinced that LeBron James said, this, skip this.
Yeah. 10 or
Because he
15.
won that for you, so you owe him for that bet.
Yeah.
Because that was vintage, because we don't see that very often.
Yes, we do. We just saw it on the other night.
Okay, just watch. Watch what happens. I know this guy. He will fall in love with the three, and he will fall deeper and deeper into the three-point trap. You know what's coming. They should win what they're on a 6-game road swing now. They should win at least 5 of these. The only dicey game is the one at Portland, which is a week from tonight at Portland. Portland has the 10th best home record in the league. They're 21-11.
They got Dame Lillard, who's playing
they do.
unbelievable.
So that'll be the tricky one. But the truth is, LeBron James, if in fact he's playing at the highest level of his career, they should sweep this road.
Stop it, Skip.
Well, come on, 6 for 6?
No.
They should beat the Clippers and the Lakers and Phoenix and Portland and Chicago.
Listen,
come on.
This is what we do. We cross bridge when we get to them. Right now, we're not to those bridges yet. So right now, we just drove over the bridge, which is the Denver Nuggets. So right now, we're making our way driving on into L.A.
So
we should pull
now
in.
that we have our bets out of the way, let's deeper examine the statement that LeBron says, he did preface it with probably, I'm probably playing at the highest level in my career. Okay, so in the 10 games since he has been joined by the new Cavaliers, to your point, he's averaging 30 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 9.7 assists. Those are sensational numbers. That's an all-time stretch for LeBron James with the new Cavs. But the only number that really counts, according to Shannon Sharpe, are the dubs, right?
Yeah.
So in that stretch of these 10 games, the Cavaliers are 6-4. So LeBron James, according to you, the greatest player in the history of basketball, is playing at the highest level he's ever played at, and his team has just gone 6-4 in this stretch.
So let that sink in.
Let it sink in. Yeah, what's happening? Not enough. Somehow
30,
his
10,
team,
and 10 is not enough.
yeah. So despite those sensational numbers, he's 6-4. But this is even the capper to this. The new Cavs are 2-4 at home with LeBron playing at the highest levels. They're 2-4 at home, and the only 2 wins came against a Brooklyn team that's now lost 12 out of 13, and against a Detroit team that's now lost 10 of its last 12. 2 of the worst teams. Brooklyn's the 5th worst team.
If you don't mind me asking.
Wow, interesting.
Can you tell they played the Celtics 3 times this year? Can you tell us what they've done
but
to the
we're
Celtics?
talking about the 10-game stretch right here.
But
That does include 1 win at the Celtics.
But that just goes to show you, although he's probably playing at a historic level for him, it's still a team game. So even 30, 10, and 10, when you don't get help, sometimes isn't enough.
Yeah. So the LeBron James who shut down that quitter Nikola Jokic
Don't
last
do that,
night in the
Skip,
fourth
baby.
quarter, the guy who got benched the night before for the whole fourth quarter, that guy in defensive win shares now ranks in the NBA 334th out of 514 players. Think of that. Let that sink in. Defensive win shares, 334, and there are 514 players. So we're in the bottom half. Is LeBron James playing at the highest level in his career is 3. And by the way, those Celtics you just brought up, 4 of them are in the top 9 in defensive win shares, and that does not even count a Kyrie, who is now faded to 25th overall. So he's 25th overall in defensive win shares. LeBron is 334. So for the first time in LeBron's career, when he has been he's been an elite defender for 14 years. In his 15th year, he's a below-average defender because he doesn't play much defense anymore.
If you don't mind me asking, can you tell me the guy in year 15 that played on the wing that was an elite-level defender in year 15? Was Michael in year 15 elite-level defender? Was Kobe? Absolutely not.
In Michael's last year in Chicago in 1998, he was an elite defender.
Was that year 15?
That was the end of Michael Jordan.
Let me ask you a question. What year was that?
Well, I don't know. What was it?
Probably
I'm
year
not even
13.
sure.
Because he played 2 years. No, it might have been year 14. Because he played 2 years in D.C.
But in age, he was 35. LeBron's 33. So at age 35, Michael Jeffrey Jordan was, trust me, a terror on defense.
Are we going to let LeBron take 2 years off?
Well, did you make LeBron go to college?
I'm just
3
asking
years?
Skip, I'm just asking a
Michael
question.
had to go play for North Carolina.
Yeah, he had
years.
to.
Wow.
Because he wasn't good. He wasn't good enough coming out of high school. Skip.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't good enough to come out of high school and go straight to the NBA.
But as a freshman, he
was
made the shot of shots. in the
1982.
championship game.
I've been a Tar Heel fan. I was a Tar Heel fan the year before. When they
I was
lost,
at that game.
in 1981 when they lost to Indiana. You remember that? Isaiah Thomas was doing his thing.
That
So
that was on Reagan Day.
Yeah, he got shot. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I remember that little fella. I was almost 13.
And I was there.
Well, you older than 13 if you were at that game. But anyway, Skip,
I'm
stop
older,
trying to sidetrack
and I'm
me.
in better shape. How does that work? I don't know.
I don't know, because that's not true.
Crazy.
But we'll discuss in shape a little later. Hold on. Did I tell you that Olga Corbett, she at me yesterday on Twitter?
No.
Yes, she did.
Well,
She said she thanks you, at Shannon Sharpe for
Did
mentioning
Nadia at me?
No.
Huh?
And she said she watches the show, Skip.
Oh.
So next we got to get Svetlana Boganskaya, the Belarusian swan. She gonna at me today too. But anyway, I'm talking about LeBron.
What are we doing?
Yeah, we go get a lot of.
Doing? So you're using this show for your personal gain?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm listening all kinds of people.
Yeah.
Skip,
He's trying to catch you in Twitter.
I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna catch him too.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna catch him.
Well, you got a
eventually.
ways to go.
But here's the thing, Skip. You know good and well, someone that is asked to do exactly what he does, which is score the lion's share, assist. He's averaging a career high in assists in year 15.
He's second in the NBA in assists. That's high level.
I ain't know that.
I give you that. He's
so
second.
me and Ty Lue didn't know that. I didn't know he was second. Second in assists to who? Russ. Got to be Russ.
I believe it is.
LeBron James, in year 15, a three swing, is second in the NBA.
So Shannon, you have not explained how are the new Cavs 2 and 4 at home though?
They
How do you
weren't
explain
at
that?
home. They were on the road.
Oh.
Did the Nuggets in.
So it doesn't matter.
No.
So are we saying it? And this could be. I'm not being
Did you hear what-
facetious about this. Maybe they're better on the road. Maybe there's too much pressure on everybody at home.
What did
I don't
LeBron
know.
say? LeBron says, I don't care if I'm the 8, I don't care if I'm the 6, I don't care if I'm the 3. If I come to your building game 1, I'm a
He
challenge.
said that. He did.
LeBron James said, I'm hell when I'm well. And he well right now, Skip.
To his credit, they are now the new Cavs 4-0 on the road.
They're going to have to deal with him, Skip.
Yeah.
He said where he is mentally, where his body is physically.
You know, I agree with that statement on offense. I do not agree on defense because he's so high IQ, he's finally decided, I just can't waste too much energy on the defensive end. I got to save myself on defense. That is a recipe for playoff disaster.
Skip, you and I both know Michael Jordan was not taking the best guy, offensive guy. Scottie Pippen was. Scottie Pippen took the premier offensive guy in Jordan's career. You know that. I know that.
Sometimes, sometimes not.
Look,
not always.
I know that Michael wanted to get Tony Kukoc in the '92 Olympics, and him and Scottie hounded him for 94 feet. I remember that too, Skip Bayless. But you and I both know when wing guys get in year 15, they're not sitting in that chair for 35, 40 minutes. They're not picking up 94 feet, not even 50. Everybody listen. Russell plays hard, but Russell's not sitting in that chair. Russell Westbrook is not playing defense like he plays offense. No. Is James Harden playing defense like he plays offense? Absolutely not, Skip.
Michael Jordan was a hellacious defender.
He was.
And he was a little quicker than LeBron ever was on defense.
Yes.
A little quicker.
Yes.
Because he's not quite as big.
But he could only guard two positions. The point and the 2 guard. LeBron, 1 through 5. You remember Game 7 when he took Tim Duncan? You remember that, Skip Bayless?
That you want to talk about hitting the psychological wall? That team was dead in the water.
Who killed him?
Ray Allen killed him.
Ray Allen with that little triple dub.
Oh, did he?
Hold up. You mean
Allen
to tell me?
Wait, are you talking about the same LeBron who missed the 3 to tie the game and it was over and the Miami fans are streaming into the night?
I'm talking about the LeBron that scored 16 of the 30 that they got because they were down. Joy, you remember that, Joy? Were you at that game, Joy? I don't think you were at that. You went to the next one. But they were down by 10 starting the fourth quarter. You were talking about.
But last 3 minutes, LeBron 3 uncharacteristic turnovers, which brings me to my final point. And I'm not even going to bring this up, Shannon Sharpe, about what happened last night. At the end of the game in that last sequence when it was getting a little dicey, LeBron had one huge, terrible turnover, and he missed a free throw. He missed another late clutch free throw, but I don't even want to bring that up.
No, we didn't. Because you know why? You know why he missed it?
He was too good.
He told me, he said, hey, Shay, I'm gonna miss my last 3 free throws. I'm gonna miss.
Oh.
He said, because I'm. Skip Bayless say I love drama, so I want this thing to be.
You want to make it a little closer? It wasn't really.
I wanted a Nancy Drew.
It was close when Kyle Korver made his three.
I want a Nancy Drew
It was
novel.
close when
Bring it
Rodney.
back to
Do you know
Nancy
Nancy Drew?
Bridget Bardot. I know all of them.
Wait, Bridget Bardot.
Yeah, I like her too.
How do we go from Nancy Drew to Bridget Bardot?
Yeah, because I'm just saying I like her. But Nancy Drew is this mystery, and LeBron says,
Do you know Nancy Drew? Do you seriously?
I don't know her personally. I know the mystery. I know the novels.
I read every one of them.
Okay, good.
The Mystery at Lilac Lane.
So you know what LeBron was trying to do by missing those free throws. So he come back and get them last 9. Don't nobody remember them free throws but you.
He was front running. It was great.
Oh, what about
it was
those?
fun to watch.
What about those step backs?
They were beautiful.
Oh, Skip.
Denver was just dead.
And then he fell in Miss Triple Dub lap. She got there, but Joy, she was a little late. Joy,
Is she going to make it to LA on Friday?
she'll be there. I'm gonna be there too. I'm gonna be in attendance.
Are you going Friday?
I'm gonna be in attendance. I might.
Friday night?
Friday night.
You couldn't even get that out.
I might be there Sunday night too.
Well,
Oh,
you
yeah,
should get
yeah.
a second seat for Miss.
Triple
Oh,
W.
she already there.
Okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, she's staying at the Wilshire, Beverly Wilshire.
Well,
Yeah.
just to make sure that we have all the facts correctly, you're only 2.4 million followers behind Skip. So
How many?
only 2.4.
Oh, I got it.
You got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
You
Just-
got a head
it's-
start, Skip.
It's just like LeBron's going to pass Michael Jordan. You're going to pass me.
Oh, he about to shoot past him in points. I already passed him in rebounds and assists. And gonna by the end of it, gonna nip him at.
You also,
No, but
you
wait.
also tweeted 88,000 more times than Skip too.
88,000 more times?
Well, it's because he's in his mentions. You know what I mean?
Huh.
So hey, and guess what? When year 20, LeBron gonna lean at the tape. 6 titles. Tyler, he go tie.
The only so far he falls? No mercy. The Cavs have been the story of the NBA this season, and we're joined by the Cavs reporter for Fox Sports Ohio, Allie Clifton. Welcome back to Undisputed.
Hey, thanks for having
Wait,
me.
you're the star of those Ganley Auto commercials, right?
Hey, you watch some Cavs
I
games.
watch every night.
Do
I've
what I
said
can.
this before, I'm going to say it again. Allie Clifton covers the Cavaliers, and it's a tough team to cover, a lot of personalities, a lot of egos, and you do the best job of asking tough questions of players who will answer those tough questions. And it's an art form, as Shannon will tell you. There's a way to ask them, and there's not a way to ask them. So I appreciate that.
They trust you
appreciate that.
and they respect you.
Yep.
So that's why they feel comfortable and they'll open up to you where maybe someone else, they'll give them a generic answer. But they will go in depth with you.
They do, even
take a
on
lot of-
TV.
I just take a lot of pride in being a former athlete and having a feel for the moment and trying to really take that into each
And you
interview.
played basketball at Toledo.
Toledo.
Toledo Rockets, right?
Toledo Rockets, yeah.
There you go.
Well, the biggest story around the Cavs this week was Kevin Love's article about his panic attacks and mental health. Were you surprised, or how surprised were you when you read that?
You know, I don't think surprised is the word. I think it's more so, wow, Kev, respect. You know, to be dealing with a situation where you probably feel everything but strength, to have the strength and the courage to understand your platform, the impact your platform can make, and also what it can do for him personally. I respect Kevin for that. I applaud Kevin for that. And I think for him, the one thing, ever since he's come to Cleveland, Kevin has been about winning. Kevin has been about the game, the organization. He's never been a distraction. He comes in, he's a professional, he does his job, he does his work at a high level. And so to think that he's been going through this and then to be able to actually come forward and make it known, respect. You know, that's tough.
Do you think he would have come forward had the meeting, the come to Jesus meeting that they had after the Thunder game? Do you think he would have been able to have the strength to come forward had that meeting not taken place?
You know, I think there was a culmination of things because his panic attack happened in November, you know, and then the meeting does happen to which he actually made it known after that Thunder game. He was sick. That wasn't a panic attack.
Right.
He was sick. But then you've got a guy in DeMar DeRozan that he gives a lot of credit to as well. And so when you know that you're not alone, it allows you to kind of gain that confidence and that courage, again, to be able to come forth. And I think it's huge for Kevin, that step, not only personally, but also now inside that locker room to have that understanding.
So what did you hear about what did go on in that Flashpoint meeting when the legitimacy of Kevin's illness was questioned by some Cavaliers, including one who's no longer there, Isaiah Thomas?
You know, I think what happened inside, because I'm a former player, what happened inside that meeting stays inside that meeting. I'm a big component and believer in understanding that those things stay amongst the team. I think at the end of the day, it was a point of the team in the season that things were not going well. And we all saw that from the outside.
Right.
And that's what it felt like on the inside as well. There was a group of individuals who had been so successful. You know, you're bringing veterans together who have a very unique way in their own right, their styles. You don't have young players that you're bringing together to mesh. You've got veteran players who have very established styles, and you're trying to make that work.
Right.
And it wasn't. And so I think from a standpoint of, you know, maybe Kev was the focal point just because it happened around that Thunder game. I think that there was a misconception about what actually happened. But that remains to be inside that locker room.
Okay, so what was your perception as a media member of Isaiah and why he didn't quite fit in the locker room?
My take with Isaiah is here's a guy who had a lot of success in a system in Boston. In a system in Boston, and he then had 7 months with a lower body injury that he did not play. And now you're trying to come back and fit into a established system, you know, who
Not a system built for you.
one that, you know, it's going to take time. But at the end of the day, it wasn't working. And I think it was all about basketball with Isaiah, you know, but at the same time, it's going to take time for him, you know, and I still think it will. He had a tough injury.
I mean, it's career threatening.
Absolutely. And so I think to assume and think that it's anything but basketball with IT, I don't think that's fair.
Are you surprised that it didn't work out better than it did?
I think the thought there is that you hoped,
Right.
you know, because there's a lot of accomplished players inside that locker room. And on paper, it looked great.
It did.
And I actually applaud Kobe Altman in the front office for being able to make the moves that they made at the trade deadline. To understand, like Kobe said, you've got a player, a generational player that dictates outcomes. And it's not working. And if we are going to maximize the opportunity that we have right now to make these moves, then we have to do that. And he did that.
So how did LeBron's mood change in the way he would deal with the media, pre-trades, post-trades? Did you see a big swing in his sort of daily mood?
The way he handles the media never changes. He is a professional. I think he's consistent. He's going to give you his time, and he's going to give you his truth. But when it comes to on the court, winning is what it's all about. And when you're not winning, it's not fun.
Right.
And so I think when you put that now back inside of LeBron, and right now it's going to take some time, of course. You don't want to hear that, but it's going to take some time. They're going to win some games. They're going to lose some games. They're going to look good. They're not going to look good. But I think right now what you have is a group that is built around him. Those pieces, the youth, the athleticism, the ability to play the style of play since Ty Lue took over that they want to play with pace. How do you play with pace? You get stops. You use your athleticism. You use your length. Now that's going to take time to get together, but I think it's going to transfer into the fun, the energetic, the vibrant LeBron that you want to see.
And that's the thing that you hear. Rejuvenated, reinvigorated. Do you see a different LeBron?
I do. Of course I do. Because it's winning. You know, and I know that we've talked about, you know, since the trade, it maybe hasn't resulted, but there is the outlook that's different than it had been.
Right.
Kobe said they were marching a slow death. There's no doubt about that. Because it wasn't fitting on the court. You have to make a change. And they chose to do that, and there is potential with this roster. There are still championship expectations inside that locker room.
So you had an up-close and personal seat last night to the 39, 8, and 10. Was that one of the more impressive performances this year, given the magnitude on the road? They're trying to hold off for that third seed. They're trying to hold off a lot of teams for that third seed. The Nuggets are fighting hard to try to stay in the 8th slot. They slid out, but that game was contentious, especially late.
I heard you talk in the break. Seeds don't matter. Seeds don't matter when it comes to LeBron.
Uh-oh.
Seeds
You heard
don't
that,
matter.
Skip?
I believe in
Anderson
that.
Seeds
I
don't
heard
matter.
him say that last
And I
night.
also heard you guys say they're great on the road right now.
They're 4-0
LeBron
with
on the
new
road
Cavs.
is tough.
Not so great at home so far. 2-4 with the new Cavs. Not great.
But in the playoffs, seeds only mustard seeds.
So is it possible that the new Cavs are feeling a little more pressure at home?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think in front of the fan base, just the anxious nerves. I do feel that because on the road it's a totally different ball game right now. You know, they play free, they play with one another, and it's just them. You know, it's that whole bunker mentality on the road, us against the world, and I do see that. I see a vast difference between home and road.
What's going on with JR? JR didn't play a minute in the fourth quarter. He played 24 minutes. He's struggling with his shot, and he's not played. And he shot, I think, once after the first quarter. If he's not going to shoot, he's really no good to you.
The one thing JR needs to always remember and understand, and I think he does. I think that the team from Ty down to your leader in LeBron, they do a great job of reminding Swish on the daily of what he means to this team. You know, when it mattered most, Swish was there that year that they won that title, right to start the third, back-to-back triples. He can change a game. He's valuable. And when he is able to take everything else mentally out and play the aggressive style, you know, be looking for his shot, take his shot. That's the Swish this team needs.
So speaking of JR, what do you figure went down between JR and Damon Jones that resulted in the soup opera, as it was called, the throne soup?
I'm going to agree with you. I thought LeBron handled that the best. That's none of my business. And you leave it at that. You know, it happened. You move forward. You move on. At the end of the day, we're professionals. You got to remember that. And we've got bigger things to approach.
Was it Campbell or Progresso?
I'm a Campbell's girl, but I don't know what the soup was. Like I said, I stayed out of it.
But they seem okay now. JR and Damon, they seem to coexist.
Oh, of course. And they always have. Yeah. I see that on the daily as well. D. Jones, he's one of the most comic relief individuals, fun-spirited, great guys to have around on the daily. You know, sometimes you're just not always in the mood, and then you throw soup.
Yeah, Skip, you see.
You've thrown soup at me before.
That's why we only allow any soup up here.
Alex, sometimes I'm not in the mood for Skip bulljive.
We're all human.
But you throw hen on me.
No, absolutely not. It's too early.
Party gift, Alex.
Nice to go get?
Yes. Thanks so much for joining us, Allie.
No mercy.
The Seahawks have reportedly agreed to trade defensive end Michael Bennett to the Super Bowl champion Eagles. Bennett had 39 sacks in his 5 seasons in Seattle. He'll join an Eagles team that finished 4th in the NFL in total defense last season. We're joined by 3-time Pro Bowler and Redskins cornerback D'Angelo Hall. Welcome back, D'Angelo. Good to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be
Hall
back.
brought him back for this pressure cooker again.
Yeah, I thought he handled himself.
He did
okay,
well. He did well. We're going to see if he can follow it up.
Yesterday. He put you in your place yesterday.
See if he can follow it up with another virtuoso.
Okay.
How much better does this make the Eagles?
Being that they already won a Super Bowl, it's going to be tough to top that. But, I mean, this guy, as a defensive back, you love when you can get guys who can rush the passer. I mean, even if you don't have great DBs, which I don't really consider Philly to have great DBs, Malcolm Jenkins is a stud, but just collectively as a group, I don't think they have lockdown DBs. But because that front 7 is so dynamic, they're able to do whatever they want on the back end coverage-wise. And adding a guy like Michael Bennett just makes them that much more dangerous because he can single-handedly wreck a game. He's done it in the past. And I think he has a lot more left in the tank. That's what's so puzzling to me, for Seattle to get rid of a guy who's consistently made plays for them. The cap number's not that high.
Not at all.
So, I mean, I would love to pay a guy that kind of money to come play and rush the passer. So, it's going to make Philly real dangerous. And I heard Ndamukong Suh wants to go there. When you win, everybody wants to come and be a part. And so he would definitely have to take a pay cut.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to be a part of something successful.
Especially when a chance to win. Now, this probably means they're going to move on from Vinny Curry. But what it did is it strengthened the strength because it keeps that rotation, that defensive line. So you bring Michael Bennett and Fletcher Cox and Barnett and Graham and Chris Long and all those. So now, and Timmy Jernigan, and you just keep rotating them, Skip. And that's what they do. They just come at you in waves. So nobody's going to play probably more than 35, 40 snaps, but they're fresh. And so this is a great move. And as you were saying, D. Hall, you're getting a guy that's very highly motivated because he said, okay, Seattle, y'all don't think I got nothing. Y'all don't even think I'm worth $5.5 million cap hit. So let me go on out here and get these 8, 9 sacks, get them to somebody else and get on to these playoffs. I understand the move from Seattle because Seattle is moving in a different direction. I believe they're going to build their team now around Russell Wilson and get away from this defense, this dominant defense. But this is a great move from the Eagles. And Doug Peterson said this is going to be a normal occurrence. We're going to be playing in late January and February. So get used to it. So what you do, you don't rest on your laurels. You go on out there and get this thing and make it happen again. Somebody in trouble.
Yeah, the Redskins.
No. Somebody else is in that division also.
This was not fair. I think the commissioner should veto this trade because it's just not fair. This is the steal of the century. They got Michael Bennett, who's still at the end of his prime. He's not past his, to your point. Could I see him playing at a high level for, I don't know, 2 or 3 more years?
Yeah.
He seems to take good care of himself.
Yeah.
He actually has one of those bodies, I don't think it ages that fast. He just looks, he looks good. We've had him on several times.
Yeah.
He just looks like he's in shape all the time. And he had 8.5 sacks last year. That was the 3rd most of his career. And wait a minute, they had to only give up a 7th with him, a 7th-round pick. And in return, Seattle got somebody named Marcus Johnson, who he played at Texas. I didn't even know who he was.
I didn't know.
He was undrafted out of Texas. He did run at his pro day. I don't think he went to the combine, but he at his pro day he ran 4.38. So I give you that. I get it. He caught 5 balls all of last year, and that's all you in a 5th rounder, and that's all you got back for Michael Bennett. And all of a sudden, Pro Bowl proven.
Player.
And you stick him in this rotation where you play him inside with Fletcher Cox. That's not fair. And now young Derek Barnett was coming in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He was making some stuff happen. And we know that Brandon Graham is a monster, and he made the play of the NFL season. That's the play of the season. He knocks it out of Tom Brady's hand. Did that not just that was it. That changed the whole game. That changed the whole season. And now you got that. I'm with you. After that safety, the rest of them are just pretty good in the secondary. But now they can rush the passer like crazy. Remember, last year, they didn't rush the passer that well. They were tied for 15th in sacks last year with my Dallas Cowboys, who are not very good at rushing the passer. Watch that they had 38. Watch what happens this time with this group.
You know what, Skip? They didn't get a lot of sacks, but what they did do, they get a lot of hits on your quarterback and a lot of pressure. So what that does is make the ball comes out a lot quicker. So the DBs know, I ain't got to hold up long. That ball's coming out. So, hey, just let me be in the right place. But here's the thing, they got to beat with a lot of double moves because they know that ball's supposed to come out quick. So they're sitting there, and then that sluggo or the stop and go, now you give it. But that ball's going to come out even quicker than it did last year.
It will.
Because these guys are going to play on probably around 40 snaps a game.
I'm telling you, those hits on the quarterback, they're going to be more sacks. They just will. This is some bad stuff going on here, man. This is the rich just got richer. And to me, it's fly, Eagles, fly, and if I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm cry, Seahawks, cry. Because they just gave away, and if they're going to cut Richard Sherman, it's like, boy, that defense.
Well, you better hope they don't get Ndamukong Suh. Huh? You better hope they don't get Ndamukong Suh.
He just wants to play with Nick Foles, right?
I mean.
He wants to win a championship with Nick Foles, the quarterback.
I mean, you put Ndamukong Suh, Fletcher Cox in the inside, and you put Barnett, you put Bennett on the outside, and then you come with Long. I mean, you come with Graham, you come with Jernigan.
You can mix it up. You can mix it up the same way those Giants teams did it when they had Strahan, Matthias Kiwanuka, he was coming on, Justin Tuck, Ossie,
Canty.
Even Seattle did it early on, when they had all that success.
And
that's what the league's coming to.
They have a quarterback who put up 41 points on Bill Belichick. That's who they're.
Hey, that was the backup. Can you imagine what
Wentz?
Can you imagine what Wentz would have done?
He's not going to get that job back.
You won't bet nothing.
Huh?
What? Stop playing.
He's not going to get that job back. Did you see what Nick Foles did to Minnesota's defense? That was the #1 ranked defense.
Hey, don't tell you what Wentz would have done.
Huh?
Wentz might have put 60.
Oh, please. Yeah, he would have thrown it to them a couple times. You
know
it, and I know it.
Tell about good Wentz is.
Carson Wentz he's a stud. Man.
Oh, yeah.
Real deal.
And I didn't believe it until I got out there and saw him moving around, and I'm like, man, this dude.
Oh, you
remember the play? We had 2-3 guys around him, and we thinking, oh, he's tackled. And he just dipped through, came out of that thing. First down.
You guys should have beaten
and that's
the
stop
opener.
we needed.
You remember the opener?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Kirk Cousins had it going, and then it was a bogus call. Remember Fletcher Cox hit
Kirk
Cousins?
Now
it's a bogus call.
Now you defending the Washington.
I am. They had him beat. They had him beat. And then
We had a chance. We definitely had a chance, and it was the mysterious backwards pass.
It
that
was
was
mysterious.
A fumble.
It was a
They picked-
terrible call.
Yeah.
Well,
And Fletcher Cox scooped and scored with it.
you
That was
know
the
what?
game.
Somebody else scooped and scored against you guys on Sunday night. Playing the Cowboys. Who was that scoop?
I don't remember it. I don't remember that
You
happening.
remember?
I don't think so.
Skip, y'all in the heap of trouble. Y'all in the heap of trouble.
You know what? These guys are prohibitively favored now. I give you that. How can they not be to win the NFC?
Well, Jared said he was happy that they won. You
Now,
remember?
there's that Brady guy up in Foxborough still.
He just beat him.
Huh?
Now they just beat him with the backup.
Wait. He threw for a record number of yards in any playoff game ever
Joey.
against that Eagle defense.
Joey,
A
you
record
remember my
number of
restaurant?
yards.
Hold on.
No one had ever done what Tom Brady did to the Eagle defense.
Well, he's gonna have to do it with Michael Bennett breathing
I
down his
know.
neck if that's the case next year.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, Michael
You know, I
Bennett
got
was. Wait a second. Michael Bennett was breathing down his neck in
Well,
the 2014 season of the
yeah, he
Super Bowl.
was.
Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Who won that game, Shannon?
I got to watch it. You know I got a restaurant.
just run the ball.
Oh!
Just run the ball, and we're having a different conversation.
Well, Tom Brady threw for 124 in the fourth quarter against the Legion of Boom. Went 13 for 15 with 2 touchdowns.
Well, that's the reason we're calling Tom Brady the GOAT.
He is the
he's
GOAT.
at his
Yeah.
best
Although-
when it's needed.
Yeah.
And so
Now Shannon is walking that back because
No.
he's saying, yes, you are.
No,
You
no.
said he's not the GOAT.
At that
now.
restaurant.
Huh?
At that restaurant. Tom Brady threw for all them yards. They had all them total yards of Eagle. And Joe came to my restaurant and Joe, what'd you get? You wanted that hot ale or you wanted that old?
Well, I thought the Patriots were going to win, so I took the L. That's who.
Skip took it.
Son.
Tom
So
Brady,
did you. You picked the Patriots.
Tom Brady has a lifetime seat at your restaurant because he has 5 rings.
I had that voodoo doll. One.
Lord have mercy.
I had that
You
voodoo
picked the Patriots to win.
The voodoo doll. I wouldn't
Wait,
pick Rudolph.
so you're voodoo dolling the team you picked to win. I get it. Okay.
I understand it.
I just poked me.
Yeah. While he was throwing for a record number of yards.
It didn't work though, Skip. So I mean,
Well,
I need
Michael
to go see
Bennett
another
is
lady.
excited.
that's off for
He
losers.
tweeted out a bunch of fire emojis and trophy emojis.
Uh-oh.
And he tagged Free Meek Mill, so he's headed straight to Philly.
Uh-oh, Skip.
No mercy. We just talked about Michael Bennett leaving Seattle, and Richard Sherman could be next. The Seahawks will reportedly release Sherman in the next couple of days. Yesterday, some of his teammates, including Jeremy Lane and Cam Chancellor, appeared to post goodbyes to Sherman on social media. He's a 3-time All-Pro, but he only played 9 games last season before tearing his Achilles, and he turns 30 later this month. We're joined once again by D'Angelo Hall. D'Angelo, you tore your Achilles when you were 30. So do you think Sherman can still be a premier cornerback?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The game is played so much in the classroom and the mental aspect of it that this guy's played so much football and at a high level, he can definitely go out there having lost a step, which I don't know if he even will slow down. He's never been a guy who's beat you with speed. It's always been technique and scheme. And so he can absolutely still perform at a high level. I'm going to be interested to see where he ends up because he's a guy who was very successful in that Seattle style of cover 3 defense. And so depending where he goes, he might be viewed as, not as good because maybe he's gone to a team that plays more man, is more man-oriented or more fire zone blitz concepts. Whereas if he goes to a team who has somehow some of those Seattle ties where they're still running a lot of that cover 3, he can go out there and dominate. He can still be an all-pro. He's a guy who can catch the ball. In this league, if you can catch the ball, you have value.
San Diego, Gus Bradley was the defensive coordinator in Seattle. Dan Quinn is the head coach of Atlanta. They run that scheme. Those are 2 teams that will seem to be a good fit. And I agree with you. That's the thing, is that now I do believe that because you don't get to where he got from, Compton, California, going to Stanford, graduating. He was a receiver going into college. He's a DB, turns himself into one of the premier DBs in all of football. He's going to have Hall of Fame consideration. So I know he's made of the right stuff, and I agree, and that's what and Skip wants him to go to the Cowboys. But the thing is in free agency, D. Hall, and you've gone through this, and so have I. When you go in free agency, you better hope the team use you like where you came from.
Exactly.
Because if they don't, everybody will say, oh, he No. You're not using him like he was used where he came from.
Yeah.
So if you're going to put Sharpe, don't put him in cover 2. Don't put him in the Tampa 2. Let him play a style in which he's familiar with, where he's comfortable. And then you can maximize and get the best out of him. And so I believe, Skip, that he will work extremely hard. He will come back. Probably, it's going to take some games. before he get back up to speed. But like D. Hall said, he's not a burner. He's not Deion Sanders. He's not Darryl Green. He doesn't play with that. He plays with techniques. He's a long, angular guy.
Strong.
And so he knows where he's weak at, and he's not going to let you beat him there. If you beat him, you're going to beat him at his strength. And so if you can do that, best of luck to you. He was playing well until he got hurt. I have no questions whether or not Richard Sherman will be the Richard Sherman again. It's just how soon does it happen?
I always have a question when it's the Achilles tendon, because I've been doing this for a long time, and it's the one injury you cannot predict. Even the ACL, MCL ruptures, you can predict better than this one. And you went through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's
You're
a
right.
hard rehab. It's just so grueling, and you lose your calf, it atrophies. And it just it's a longer
you're literally laid
rehab.
up for 6 months, Skip. You can't even,
Yeah.
you're the walking boot.
But you did it, and you came back, and you feel like you're close to 100%?
Oh, I feel great.
Do you
I feel
trust
great.
it? Do you?
Absolutely. I felt like my ACL was much harder to overcome than my Achilles. And you got to remember, I tore my Achilles twice. I tore it, was in the middle of that rehab, kind of probably about 4 weeks after the first surgery, and I just was getting out of bed. Didn't put the boot on because the doctor said you don't need the boot all the time, and I was just rolling around the house, and everybody joked about me going to get pizza. I was going to get a snack late night. Hit one of my kids' toys on my scooter, flipped it, and put my foot down, popped again. And so for me to have come back from it twice and feel as good as I feel.
They had to go right back. They had to reattach it
Yes,
completely?
reattach it. New incision. I went from an incision that big to an incision that big. And so I'm just thinking about, man, I ain't going to look as good in my flip-flops and shorts. But knowing Richard Sherman and what he's made of, we aren't the best of friends. And so for me to sit up here and say, hey, this guy is going to come back, he is still an elite corner, I really believe it. I really believe as hard as he works and as much as he has to prove to everybody else, like you said, he wasn't a 5-star player who was a top 10 draft pick. He's a guy who worked for everything he had. And I'm so proud of him. I'm a fan. When I sit down and watch him play and I take the emotion out of it, this dude can play football. He is a football player, and football players always find a way to make that play, and he's on my list. He's that guy.
So, Mr. Hall, given all that, remember, Chris Richard was his DB coach from the start in Seattle. Chris Richard is a Pete Carroll disciple from all the way up. Chris Richard grew up in Carson, which is next door to Compton, so there's some kindred spirit going on between Chris Richard and Richard Sherman. And Chris Richard went to play corner at USC under Pete Carroll, then started coaching under Pete Carroll. So they came all the way up together through the ranks, Chris Richard, Richard Sherman. All of a sudden, Chris Richard gets fired after last 9-7 season. He goes to Dallas. He is now kind of the co-defensive coordinator with Rod Marinelli, who is classic Tampa 2, born and raised. Man, it's like in his fiber. He is covered 2. It is zone concepts. So do you think, because I don't have an answer to this, will Chris Richard be able to move, to blend in a little 3 in there? Will they start?
You would hope.
You
You
would
would
think
hope.
so?
You would hope. His value. He was a coordinator in Seattle. So you
For
would
3
hope-
years, he was the coordinator.
Yeah, you would hope that that Rod definitely leans on him to kind of co-coordinate with him.
Okay, so
kinda
do you
sit in
think they
there
could
and
blend
help game plan?
a strong-willed, strong-minded Richard Sherman into a cog concept? Because Marinelli's about cogs. He doesn't want any big egos. He doesn't want anybody to assert themselves. You play it my way or the highway. Do you think they could finesse him into this?
I've never played for Rod Marinelli, so to know what kind of person he likes as a player, I don't really know. But I know that Jerry Jones would not have hired Chris Richard on that staff without a plan. I don't know if I don't know how many years he has left on his deal. I don't know if maybe,
question.
Chris is the coordinator in waiting.
He might be.
So to speak. And
He's
so,
now the passing game coordinator.
Okay.
So he's going to.
Okay. So he's going to be able to run some of his concepts that he feels that he likes. It's not going to be just totally Tampa 2.
Yeah.
They're going to mix in some of the concepts he ran in Seattle, and knowing that, like you said,
See, Shannon's getting a little
I can
nervous
see
over
I
there.
can see
A little
Richard
nervous.
in Dallas.
Rod Marinelli should have no problem with Richard Sherman. You know who he coached on the D-line? Sapp.
He did.
Simeon Rice.
No.
But see, the thing with that Tampa 2, why it worked so well, they had Sapp,
You had
Simeon
dogs up
Rice,
front, yeah.
D. Brooks, Lynch, and Rondé Barber. Well, if Dallas got that, they can run Tampa too.
Well, you can run anything you want.
You
It
got
doesn't
argued
matter.
the greatest three technique D-line when they're Warren Sapp.
No,
You
I
got
know.
Simeon Rice, who had over 100 sacks, first ballot Hall of Famer in D. Brooks,
I
and
do
you got
not
Lynch is
disagree.
on the Hall of Fame
I do
ballot,
not
and
disagree.
Rondé Barber.
Rondé Barber.
So
Amazing.
Just give me Derek Brooks and I'm okay.
No,
Hey, seriously.
I tell you, Brooksy, you get that under tackle.
He's watching right now. He watches every
He
day.
he gonna call me.
You're going to get a note. You're going to get a little text.
Brooks will tell you, Sapp was that Hellraiser, though. That's Skip, you had
Driving force was Derek Brooks, Hall of Famer.
Skip. That defense, you know where that defense came from? That's a Rod Russ defense in the Steelers. In Steelers, Jack Lambert was special. So was Jack Ham. But it was 75. It was Mean Joe that you had that. And then what's what they had? They had a Mel Blount outside. So when you get that under tackle, you know what Mean Joe.
Dallas has got a David Irving.
Man, you better stop.
David Irving. You seen him? He's a monster.
No, I don't know.
We go
talking you into that one.
from Warren Sapp. We go from Mean Joe Green, Warren Sapp to David Irving.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, you could have said like Aaron Donald. Okay, maybe Aaron Donald is the next in line of the great
He's that
undertaker.
guy.
Yeah, Aaron Donald.
I would agree. I think Richard Sherman is Dallas bound. I got a feeling now. Now, will Jerry pay him the $11 million that he is scheduled to make and wants, and that's the reason he's no longer a Seahawk?
It's easier
or
to
about
take.
to be
It's
no
easier to take less
Yeah,
from a team than your team.
that is true. That's a
Because
good point. It's
just
just
like-
on principle.
Because
Yeah.
Seattle's
definitely.
going to want him to
It's
make those
definitely
plays, those $11 million plays, paid in $5 million.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Richard
you're scheduled. Your contract says you're due to make
Yeah.
$11 million,
Yeah.
and they're saying no.
Yeah.
We'll give you $6. You want to renegotiate and stay, or whatever they're offering? I don't
And
know.
Right, but
sometimes
sometimes
pride.
it's better to stay there and be more comfortable.
Yeah,
and go with
sometimes
Adrian
it is.
Peterson,
Yeah,
but
oh, yeah, you're
I
right.
think this situation's got a little bit more
Yeah.
drama
Emotion,
to it than
yes.
Yeah.
You got to take the emotion out of it.
Some lingering
do.
things there. Speaking of Jerry and the Cowboys, will Dak Prescott have a bounce back season in 2000?
Yes.
Discuss that next. No mercy. Dak Prescott's offensive numbers were down across the board this past season, and the Cowboys missed the playoffs. Jerry Jones has been talking all offseason about making the offense more Dak-friendly. Jerry explained that this means using more of a college-style offense and letting Dak run more. He added, quote, "It's an offense that lets him be unpredictable." We're joined once again by D'Angelo Hall, but first, Skip, do you like what Jerry said?
Finally, I agreed with one thing Jerry Jones said, because he finally gave us what I consider some obvious wisdom. I sat in this chair all season long, pounding this table. You got to run him more. You got to run some read option. You got to roll him out. He weighs 240 pounds. He is Cam-esque. I'm not saying he's Cam Newton, but he has some Cam in him because he's not as tall as Cam, but he is built thick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he can take some punishment. Not a whole lot, but a little more than you allow him to take. So I hark back to what was a turning point play of the early season after they had that debacle in Denver. They're playing Arizona on Monday night, and they're down 7-0 late in the first half. And this happened, if we could see this. Oh, they ran the read option to Zeke, and that's a little dangerous, but I'll take it because it made it 7-all. And then we don't need to go through this because it'll drive Shannon a little crazy, but the next two plays that he made were both rollout bombs to one Bryce Butler. Two big bombs to Bryce Butler, one for a touchdown, one for a big game that set up an easy touchdown by Ezekiel Elliott. You have to, obviously, as this man can attest, keep a defense a la RG3 in his rookie year a little bit off balance, a little bit guessing game, a little bit, dare I say, just what are you going to throw next at us? Because he can throw some things at you. He's not as fast as Robert, but he ran 4.8 at the combine. He's just like average fast. He's got some speed to him. That's my take.
Well, go ahead, D.L. As you go. Go ahead.
Well, when you talk about a college-style offense, I don't think of it being the read option. You know, the read option has been in the NFL for a while now, and a lot of teams use it just to keep you honest, keep that rusher off the edge, just to keep him honest from just crashing
Chasing
down.
the backside
Because
down.
you never account for the quarterback on the pro level. And so that read option is just a nice change-up. When I initially heard he wanted to go to a college-style offense, I'm thinking, oh, no. Not the Baylor style, Texas Tech, where they just throwing it all over the place. Chip Kelly, a la Chip Kelly.
No.
I didn't like that at all.
Right.
I like what you're saying.
Just elements, just components.
Just elements.
Yeah.
Just because he is comfortable when he's moving. Yeah. Because he's using his athleticism to help him make plays downfield. Like you said, as a DB, when that quarterback's moving, you don't know what's going on. Your back's to him. He can, extend the play downfield, but Dak can definitely make plays. He's shown that as a rookie. I think part of that problem was not having Ezekiel out there the whole year. They played a little more like Moneyball at the running back position, where those guys still had comparable numbers if you put them all together. But just having that presence of Ezekiel back there and guys on defense knowing, oh my goodness, this kid is a home run hitter anytime he touches the ball. Mm-hmm. That's why I think the offense struggled more so than Dak really just – he wasn't great protecting the ball. He had 4 turnovers as a rookie,
he tried
13
to do
interceptions.
He
definitely tried to do too much. He felt like he had to take all the pressure. Having Ezekiel back there is going to take a lot of pressure off of him. And that's what he needs. He just needs pressure off of him more so than really changing the offense. But to add different elements, absolutely, I'm for it just because it's going to help make that offense even more explosive than it already is.
I see what Jerry's trying to do here. Jerry's trying to say he's going to make the offense Dak friendly because, this is Tony Romo's offense. Well, how about you do what the Rams did to make it more golf friendly? Go get him a Sammy Watkins and a Robert Woods.
That would help.
Okay.
I'll buy that.
Go make the Phillies offense more Wentz
friendly. How about that?
Go get Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith. Because if you look at Tony Romo's numbers, his best years, he had those dogs on the edge. Dez Bryant, 13 and 14, look at Tony Romo's numbers. Look at Tony Romo's number when he had T.O. And he had a young Jason Witten. Get him some weapons. I'm not worried about the type of system that they run. They can make it they can make it as friendly as they want it to. They can make it boyfriend, girlfriend friendly. But if he ain't got those weapons, wait, Jerry, you wasting your time. Go get him some weapons.
Thank you.
I don't care how great your quarterback is. And look, we don't know how good that can be. This is only going to be his 3rd year. But give him some weapons and let's see. Because look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers got weapons. Adams, Jordy Nelson, Cobb, they can make plays, Skip. We look at Tom and we like, oh, man, Edelman and Amendola, they can make plays. They can get down the field in a hurry. And they can make plays. Get him some weapons. Because if you look at Tony Romo's best years, 2014, that was his best year. He had Offensive Player of the Year, DeMarco Murray, 1848. Dez Bryant, 80 catches, 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns. Go get Dak some of that, and let's see what he can be.
So you're admitting that Dak had no help last year, yet you, Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famer, gave him an F for his performance last year. An F?
Yeah.
When his QBR fell all the way from 3rd in the National Football League as a rookie to 4th last year. 4th among all those starters.
I'm trying. You can either eat Dubs or L's. What you want to eat, Joe? At this restaurant, I got a restaurant pop up. Just popped it up the other day. What you want? Dubs or L's, Skip? What you want to eat?
I want QBR. That's what I want to eat because you're eating crow over there.
Skip.
QBR.
Okay. He only dropped 1 spot. He went from 3rd to 4th.
That's among all the starting quarterbacks in the league.
What about them Dubs? Where did they drop from?
Well, he didn't have Sean Lee for 6 games, so the defense was horrendous in the second half, and he didn't have Ezekiel Elliott for 6 more games, and so he was playing money ball with Alfred Morris.
But he had Dez all those games. He had Jason Witten all those games. You notice?
I did, and I noticed none of them can separate from anybody anymore.
That's not Dak's fault.
I could cover Jason Witten, and I couldn't get him on the ground, but I could cover him because he can't separate from me. But once he catches the ball, I could hold on to his leg while somebody came and tackled him, right? That's what you've been telling me.
Do what the Eagles did for Wentz. Do what the Rams did for Goff. They went and got him some weapons. So now everybody's like, well, Carson Wentz is not that accurate. Well, he sure got a lot more accurate this year. The guy played 13 games, had 33 touchdowns and 7 picks. Look at Jared Goff. We were talking about, Jared Goff's going to be.
Don't forget, he went and got him a big old stud running back.
Yeah.
Too, right?
Jay got
and then
Winnebago.
In the middle of the year, he went and got another
Jay Jai. Y'all didn't want Jay. Y'all didn't like him. Y'all didn't want. Get him some weapons.
I don't make those decisions.
You can wear any. Look here. Every offense that a quarterback runs in the NFL is friendly to his skill set. Aaron Rodgers is not running Marcus Mariota's offense.
Nope.
Mariota's not running Tom Brady's offense. The offense is geared to what the guy does well. But the guys that have weapons, what did they do for Drew Brees? They're like, Drew, yeah, we throwing the ball over the place, but we're finna get you Alvin Kamara. And we're going to pair him with Ingram.
Yep.
Look at Drew Brees this year as opposed to not like, dang, Drew Brees, like I got me like 3 or 4 more years in me. Get Dak some weapons, Jerry. Stop talking about this friendly offense. Tony Romo's not coming back. Dak is your guy for the next 10 years. Get him some weapons and see where he can take you. Because if you don't, not going anywhere. You're not running yourself to a championship. Sorry.
Well, I believe he can run them farther toward victories if you let him run some called plays. Because they just didn't call it last year.
You gonna keep those
Call
same,
it.
you gonna keep those same weapons?
I hope not.
Okay.
I've already told you. I'm
definitely
done.
gotta upgrade.
You
I'm
keep
done
those
with
same
that.
weapons.
Right. Huh?
Hey,
Can Richard Sherman play receiver?
hey, Skip. My grandfather
You
used to
could
tell
go
us,
both
boy,
ways, baby.
Skip, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. How's that working out with him?
Yeah, that's awful.
Oh, Carson Wentz like, I'm good. Carson Wentz said, keep him over there.
The former quarterback of the Eagles?
Former.
He's,
He ain't gonna win.
he's the second stringer now.
Don't do that, Skip.
We got beat now.
Don't do that.
He got beat now.
Well, thanks
You
for running
can't, you
it.
can't
Fold.
lose your job to injury. Man.
Oh, that's what they say.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.